Scent Squad, Joanna here, the Soap Gal, and today we're gonna dive in all about lye. Literally, we're not going to dive in line, that would be terrible, but we're going to, I'm so sorry, I should have not said dive in. I get asked over and over again why I use a 50-50 lye solution and why I find that to be the easiest way to make soap. When you have employees, the most important thing I want them to be is safe. And if I have to have them create the beads and then make the lye and it's hot, there's just so many chances of something happening and they get hurt. So by learning everything there is about a lye solution, you are able to have your own special tank, set it up, not have to worry about a hot liquid. It's at room temperature and is always there. You have lye on tap and it doesn't matter what that formula is, it works. But I want to really dive into this and explain to you how you figure out your formula. We're going to go into Soap Maker and we're going to dive in and explain to you how to figure out what you need for your lye solution and then what's the additional liquid you're going to be needing to add. And that additional liquid can be any additional liquid you want. It could be goat's milk to aloe vera juice to coconut cream, or it could just be distilled water. But the first thing you need to do is figure out what you need of sodium hydroxide, that part. So this formula that we have right now is 50 ounces of olive oil, 30 ounces of coconut, 5 ounces of castor, and 5 ounces of shea butter. When you come to the lye water, right now, this is the 12.5 ounces is what we need. So we know that we are using 12.5 ounces. And if we have the pre-made 50-50 solution, we know that we have 12.5 ounces of sodium hydroxide, like sodium hydroxide beads, and we have the 12.5 ounces of water in order to create that 50-50 solution. So I'm going to do that right now in the software so you can see. So we are going to change the lye strength right here to 50%. So by changing the lye strength to 50% and we show that it's a 1-to-1, we don't need to add any more additional water. We have a true 50-50 lye solution. But to make soap with a 50-50 lye solution, you would have soap on a stick. It would go so fast. So we need to add that additional liquid in order for us to be able to have work time. But do we have safe soap? Yes, we have safe soap because we have equal parts, but we don't have functional soap to be able to make it. That's why soapers have different lye solution strengths. So when you hear full water, what they're talking about is a 25% lye solution strength. So we will add 25% here. What that shows math-wise is now 50-50 solution. So we have 12.5 ounces of sodium hydroxide plus 12.5 ounces water already in that solution. But because we're doing a 25% strength, so we have more workability, more time, so we can do beautiful, designs. That means we're going to have to add an additional 25 ounces of liquid. So that's what the 25% strength. Let's just say here we have 100%, okay? And we have 25% here is sodium hydroxide, 25% here is water, 25% here is water or liquid, 25% here is water or liquid. So we have 75% of this formula as liquid, but we're using 25% of that to make the 50-50 lye solution. So that's already done. So that means we're adding an additional, whatever the weight is of the lye solution, which is 25 ounces, we're going to add an additional 25 ounces of liquid to get that full water solution, which is 25%. Now, I don't do that because I want my bars to cure fast. So if you do that, depending on your environment, you are going to have a 4 to 6 week cure time because it's going to take you longer for the additional water to dissipate. What I personally do is a 33% lye solution. So we're going to change that to 33%. Okay? So that's what I personally do. And then I know that you have a lye discount here. So the numbers are a little off, but you have to have that lye discount because you don't know what the sap factor is of each lot of oils are. So the sap factor might vary a little bit. And if you have it at 0, you don't have no play. You want to make sure you have that like safety stock is what I consider my lye discount. So we have 25 ounces of pre-made lye solution, and we're going to be adding in an additional 12.9 ounces of liquid. Okay, so that's what I basically do. Really, if I take away that 1-to-1 lye solution, it's 12.5 ounces of sodium hydroxide, and you have your additional 25.4 ounces of your liquid. So when you take part of that, now see you have to add in an additional 12.9 ounces of water. I hope I'm making myself clear. The other formula that a lot of people use is 40%. So we're going to do 40% lye solution, and then that shows you the different ratios right there. So you have 25 ounces of your 50-50 lye solution, and then you're adding an additional 6.2 ounces. I personally don't do that. That's too close to the 50-50 lye solution. I really like the 33. All right, but now we're gonna go back to using no pre-made lye. Okay, so not using no pre-made lye, it's at those numbers change. See, now you're at 12.5 and you're at of sodium hydroxide needed, and you're at 25.4 ounces of water needed. By me just pushing this button now is showing that I'm moving part of that water over to the sodium hydroxide that the sodium hydroxide's made. And see, those two numbers just flipped. So the easiest way, if you want to do a third, if you know what your normal formula is, and let's say you're used to using the 12.9 ounces of beads and then the 25.4 ounces of water, and you combine the two together, now you have your full strength 33% lye solution. What you're going to be doing is taking your formula and you're going to be doing it in thirds. Okay, so take your full formula, divide it by 3 basically, and then you know, okay, I'm using this much lye. I'm going to be using 1/3 to create that lye, which I've got pre-made. I should have my lye right here, pre-made. Okay, so now it's the 50-50. You got half water, half lye, pre-made right here. Now you're going to need to add that additional water, which will be the 12.5 ounces. But I'm going to change the formula up just so you guys can see and really understand this. So we're going to change the olive oil to 40. We're going to change the coconut oil, we're going to 20. And then I always have to have castor, but we're going to change the butter to cocoa butter. And we're going to add in some argan oil. Okay, we're not going to add in a pound, that's a lot, but we're going to add in 3 ounces. Okay, so I changed the complete formula. Right here, it shows that we need 11 ounces of sodium hydroxide and 22.3 ounces of water. But by pushing this little button, now it took part of that water, and see the numbers just changed. Now we need 22 ounces of pre-made lye solution and 11.3 ounces of water. If I changed it to a 25% solution, the numbers are now equal. See, I need 22 ounces of my pre-made lye solution and 22 ounces of whatever water or liquid I want of my choice. Another question that I keep on getting about the 50-50 lye solution is, how do I use other liquids other than water? Well, that's the whole point of using a 50-50 lye solution. When I learned how to make a 50-50 lye solution, I actually had a goat farm and I was making goat milk soap. And I did not know, I got It was so hard to melt all that, or freeze the goat's milk and then melt it with the sodium hydroxide, and then it was just so much. So I decided to, you know what? I'm going to do a test. So I created a 50-50 lye solution. So I used, 12 ounces of lye, 12 ounces of water. So there's my 50-50 solution. So then it allowed me to be able to use between 12 and 24 ounces of goat's milk in my formula, depending on if I wanted to be at a 25% lye strength or if I wanted to be at a 33% lye strength. So what I did was 12 ounces of sodium hydroxide, 12 ounces of water, and 12 ounces of goat's milk. That gave me my solution that I needed, and to be able to keep that wonderful goat's milk in my formula. So after I did that, I did a test. I had my tea tree sage soap at my farmer's market that had my full goat's milk, and then I had my tea tree sage that had the solution with the goat's milk in it, and I had them both the same bars and everything. So when someone asked me that they wanted to purchase 2 of those bars, because that was my most popular scent, I would take one from both groups and I'd give it to them. And I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna know that I shorted them on goat's milk. And I gave them 2 bars, one with full goat's milk, one with like half goat's milk in it. And you know what? I didn't get one complaint. So then I was like, okay, that just has to be those people. So then I did that same thing at another farmer's market, and I didn't get no complaints. So that gave me the confidence to know that the goat's milk is still working, still doing what it needs to do, but it allowed me to be able to up my game, to scale up, and to be able to make more goat's milk soap for my group of people. And that's why I started using 50-50 lye solution. So yes, you can have, as long as you're using whatever the amount of sodium hydroxide that your fats need that's in your recipe, as long as you keep that the same. When it comes to the added water, so 12 ounces and 12 ounces, that's what you have to do, because you have to dilute that sodium hydroxide with the same amount of weight to create that 50-50 solution. But any other liquid that you want, that can be anything you want. Let your imagination run wild. If you have any more questions, just put it in the questions below. If you want me to do a live with you, I have no problem. We can do that. Let me know that that's what you like. But I really want you to understand this, because being able to purchase pre-made sodium hydroxide, and for you to know that you have it saved and it's ready at any time you want to make soap, or if you just get a tank and pre-make it ahead of time, and then whatever formula comes your way, allows you to have creativity away, because you're not having to make lye solutions just for whatever batch of soap you are doing. You always have sodium hydroxide in liquid form ready for you to be able to be creative in any way. So if you're going to change your formula, you have your lye ready. You're not going to have to create new lye because you diluted it too much, or you need to add more lye to it so that it works. I really want you guys to understand how to use a 50-50 lye solution, and we're going to keep having these videos until it like, beep, wow, Joanna, that's amazing, until I get those type of comments. You're going to keep seeing these videos, because this is what scaling is all about. It's about having these processes and these tricks and these steps, so then that way you're saving you steps. Because now when you need to go make soap, I have my 50-50 lye solution. I have my master batch of oils. I have my mold, I have my liquid of choice, and guess what? I'm able to be creative and just measure those out and make what I need and get done with my orders. I want you guys to be successful. I want you to not have to turn down POs. I love being your brand partner if you need help, but if you're passionate about soap, you need to make the soap. Because that's what your joy is, that's what your hunger is, that's what your excitement is. And I want to be there for you to be able to do it and not be stressed out because you're not able to get your orders done because you're waiting for lye to cool down. That's what this is all about, okay? I love you guys. I want you to be successful from the bottom of my heart. I really, really do. And by doing a 50-50 lye solution, you will be safe. Okay, another question I always get is, how long does a 50-50 lye solution last? I don't know. I've never had it around longer than 30 days. Okay, but I do know that it works for those 30 days as long as it's airtight seal, safe, tight seal like this one. Yeah, see, it's safe. I want to make sure I kept the cap on. There's no way air's getting into that, so I know I'm good. But other than that question, oh, temperature. For those type of questions, I would suggest for you to look at your safety data sheet. If you look up a 50-50 lye solution safety data sheet, it should have all those type of information on them. And also, that's something everyone should have. You should have safety data sheets of every chemical, every fragrance, every solution that you have. So if anything happens, you know what you need to do to keep yourself safe, or a loved one, or a customer, or a friend, or whatever. But those sheets are so important. That was so much information. I hope you guys were able to dive right in with me and absorb it and understand it and know where I'm coming from. My heart, I love you guys. I want you to be super, super successful. Remember, lather, rinse, profit, repeat. God bless you.